can't live without you. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh. I can't breathe without your love.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're beautiful. Hello, our beautiful people. Welcome back to the LD world. Today we're going to discuss how we first met. It's actually an interesting story, so we definitely wanted to go over it.
It's a really funny story. Because
Yeah.
he almost broke up with me, even though he wasn't really with me, but...
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. But before we get into it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that noti bell. Thumbs up. Let's get right to it. The first time we met in real life. So
Yeah.
Keep in mind that we spent about 6 months FaceTiming each other before we actually met in person. I didn't really know how she looked. She didn't really know how I looked. The only thing I had to go off of was Instagram pictures and FaceTime. Let's get right into it.
My chubby face.
Yes, whenever I see her on FaceTime, she got a fat face.
I got a fat face on camera. I don't know what it is.
And she looks different in real life. So if you guys ever get the opportunity to meet in real life, you're gonna be like, oh, do it look different? Why Lance still look the same?
They probably won't recognize me. They're like, is that Dua?
Not Doa.
Dua. So the first time we met, it was on May 9th?
Yeah,
Or
it was
10th?
May 9th.
9th or 10th. So he was flying from Orlando. I was flying from Barcelona, and we were meeting up in Paris.
Yeah, so it kind of starts out like a romantic story, and then it ends in a tragedy.
I was at the airport earlier than you, so I was waiting for him, and I kept looking at like black guys, and I was like, is that him? Is that him? And then I saw one in red shoes, and I knew that you had red shoes, so I was like,
So my red shoes were
is that him? Then you actually texted me when you were there, and you were like, hey, I just landed, and I was like, okay, so all the black dudes, that was not him.
Like I said earlier, I didn't really know what she looked like.
Clean that bubble in your throat.
Like I said earlier, I didn't really know what she looked like. The only thing at that time, Dua was different. Dua had this light bluish green turquoise hair, and I just needed to spot somebody out who had that hair. And I was like,
it was easier for you.
yeah, it was easier for me because of her hair color. As soon as I saw her, I was like, my first thought was, oh, she is cute. I was super worried about that. I didn't know what I was getting into. I planned this trip to go visit some friends in Belgium, and she just out of the blue told me, oh, you should come to Barcelona, let's meet in Paris. So I was like, let's go.
Yeah. My impression was like,
oh, this boy fine.
I thought you were really cute. I thought you were pretty much the same, but you were shorter than I thought.
Wow.
But that is, no, but wait, that is one of my favorite things.
Which I don't know why, because I told her my height. I'm 5'8". Which...
We don't do that measurement in Europe, so I was just like,
oh, yeah.
I knew you were short, but I didn't know you were like, you're not like super short.
No, average height. But the funny thing about it is that I thought the same exact thing. I was like, oh, she's shorter than I thought. Which for me, not being a super tall guy, that was a plus for me. I liked that. I thought that was important.
Okay, so the first thing we did at the airport was like, we had no idea where we were going. Do you remember that?
I was so mad.
We were like, oh my gosh, where are we going?
Because she's the world traveler. She's like, oh, I've been to Paris before, I've been there. So I was pretty much relying on her. And as soon as we get there, she was like, I'm lost.
Yeah, because I'm not, well, usually I'm like that. I'm like, okay, I'm in a new country, I just figure out what to do. But he's like, he has to have everything planned out. So that was the first thing.
Get it from my mama.
That was the first thing that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to travel with this guy. Because I'm super spontaneous.
She doesn't pack, she doesn't plan, she doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't need to plan anything.
She goes into her drawer, takes up a bunch of clothes, put them in a bag and say, let's go. And she runs onto the plane at the last minute.
No.
And I'm waiting for my plane. That's when I feel like I'm too early if I have to wait. I always check in online and walk straight on the plane.
But the thing is, when you arrive at a new airport, who knows where they're going? No one. So I could see that you were a bit annoyed, and I was like, oh my god. But anyway, so we figured that out, and I was trying to kiss him, but he hadn't brushed his teeth.
It was a 10-hour flight.
So he didn't want to kiss me, but I did kiss him. While we were looking for the train or whatever we needed to go on, I actually called my mom. And because she was worried, she was like, oh my gosh, my daughter is meeting up with this dude that she's never met. So I called my mom.
Different country.
Yeah. So I called my mom and she was like, can I see him? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I turned the camera at him and I didn't think anything of it. So I was like, okay, she just wanted to see him. A few weeks later, she sends me this picture and she was like, dude, I just screenshotted Lance in case he would do something to you.
I never knew that.
So when I turned the camera, she actually screenshot.
I didn't even know that happened. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, but she likes him today, but she was really worried. Cause she was like, yeah,
I would
like,
be too.
yeah.
Meeting some random guy
She's
in
like,
a different country
he could have
from
planned
America.
this.
We didn't get to spend too much time in Paris, and then we needed to catch our flight back to Barcelona. So during this time, once again, she planned the whole flight schedule back to Barcelona. She has been to the airport.
You're welcome.
And then we find out that we don't have a transportation to get to the airport, and we don't really know what time to get there.
So basically, it was a different airport, and it was like 1 hour away.
Yes. So we were late. Actually, I take that back. We missed our flight. We ended up catching a cab back to the airport.
That cab
was the craziest cab ride. I felt sick. The dude must have been going about 200
I saw
miles
him,
per hour.
Closing in his eyes, he didn't want to look.
I thought I was gonna die. So I went to sleep.
The only thing I was thinking is like, oh my god, we need to make it before the flight.
Yeah,
I
we
was
didn't
not
make it.
worried.
I went to sleep. I was like, Lord, if I'm gonna die, take me away while I'm sleeping, because I can't deal with it. We get to the airport, we had to pay 200 euros. 200 euros.
It hurts to say it.
It hurt. It still hurts to this day. We had to pay 200 euros for a cab ride. On top of the 200 euros that we had to spend for the cab ride, we spent another, what, 2, 3, I think about 400 euros for another plane ticket.
Yeah. And it wasn't even to Barcelona.
And at that, oh my gosh, it was to like Girona. Then we had to take a bus to Barcelona. At that point, I was pissed off, but it gets better. When we took the bus from Girona to Barcelona, we got to Barcelona, and she was like, oh, we're going to walk from the bus station to my apartment. I was like, cool. It's not that long to walk.
Here.
10 miles?
It was bad.
It was a long
bad.
walk. It took us like an hour and so. And every time I kept asking her, how far is it? She's like, oh, it's right around the corner. Oh, it's right there. Oh, it's right there. I know Barcelona now. And I look at how far we walked, and I was like,
it was not right there.
That was the longest walk ever. And at that moment, I was like, I'm never gonna talk to this girl again. That trip started out horrible. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Paris was fun, but we didn't really like Paris as a city on a whole. But I mean, it was fun.
We liked it when do you remember when we popped the...
Yeah, we popped a champagne bottle underneath the Eiffel Tower. The cork part almost hit a little girl in the face. But it was literally, I'm not even exaggerating. It was probably about that much room from it hitting her in the face. I almost ran.
I also have that on video. We were laughing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How's it going? Oh, no!
I figured it out.
This trip was horrible.
And from then on, I planned all the trips. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to get out of the box that I was in. And she really challenges me. And even though there's times where I feel like I don't want to do things, she's like, no, let's get up and get it done. I'm not talking about work, I'm talking about life-changing experiences. Like, we look back on that Paris trip now and we laugh every single time. And I would have never been to Paris if it wasn't for her. And she's truly a blessing in my life. So even though there were things that went wrong, more things went right. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on YouTube either. But yeah, it's super cool. It was super exciting. Before you go out and do something like what we did, make sure you get to know the person.
Yeah.
We spent 6 months, people, talking every day. We still haven't missed a day. We spent 6 months, so we really knew each other before we decided to plan this trip. So don't just go jumping out there on a flight to go meet Joe Schmo somewhere, because it's a dangerous world we live in. You need to protect yourself.
We would have never thought that we would be here today. Never.
Take a chance, people. Put yourself out there. Don't stay in your room watching Netflix, even though there's some good shows coming out. Really put yourself out there and take a chance, because you never know what it could turn into. And I put the Lance stamp on that. All right, but that's all we got for you guys today. We will see you guys next time. Before you leave.
Yeah. Make sure to give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. And
hit that noti bell.
Yeah, turn the notification bell on. Someone was asking me how you do that on Instagram.
Explain it real quick.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Later, dudes.